Welcome to our exploration of 10 powerful Bible verses that may challenge traditional interpretations. These passages, often overlooked or misunderstood, offer profound insights into the complexities of faith and human nature. Our journey begins with Ecclesiastes 1:2, which states, "Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, vanity of vanities. All is vanity." This verse questions the pursuit of worldly success and material gain, urging us to contemplate the true meaning of life beyond superficial achievements. Next, we encounter Matthew 6:24, where Jesus declares, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." This verse challenges us to examine our priorities and the role of wealth in our lives. In Exodus 21:20-21, we find a controversial passage. Anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as a direct result. But they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property. This verse raises difficult questions about historical context and the evolution of moral standards. 1 Timothy 2:12 presents another challenging statement. "I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet." This verse has been the subject of much debate regarding gender roles in religious leadership. Psalm 137 verse 9 contains a disturbing sentiment. "Happy is the one who seizes your infants and dashes them against the rocks." This verse, set in the context of the Babylonian exile, reveals the raw emotions of a people in distress and raises questions about the nature of divine justice. In Matthew 10:34, Jesus makes a surprising declaration. "Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword." This verse challenges the common perception of Jesus as solely a messenger of peace and love. Deuteronomy 23:1 presents a perplexing exclusion. "No one who has been emasculated by crushing or cutting may enter the assembly of the Lord." This verse raises questions about bodily integrity and inclusion in religious communities. 1 Corinthians 14:34-35 echoes earlier sentiments about women's roles. Women should remain silent in the churches. They are not allowed to speak, but must be in submission, as the law says. If they want to inquire about something, they should ask their own husbands at home, for it is disgraceful for a woman to speak in the church. This passage continues to fuel discussions about gender equality in religious contexts. In Luke 14:26, Jesus makes a startling statement. "If anyone comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even their own life, such a person cannot be my disciple." This verse challenges our understanding of familial relationships and personal sacrifice in the context of faith. Finally, we come to Ezekiel 23:20, which contains explicit imagery. "There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys and whose emission was like that of horses." This verse, part of an allegory about unfaithfulness, demonstrates the Bible's occasional use of graphic language to convey spiritual messages. These 10 verses, often overlooked or downplayed, reveal the complexity and sometimes controversial nature of biblical texts. They challenge us to engage critically with Scripture, considering historical context, literary devices, and evolving interpretations. As we conclude our exploration, it's important to remember that these verses are part of a larger narrative. They invite us to dig deeper, ask questions, and engage in thoughtful dialogue about the multifaceted nature of faith and religious texts. Understanding these challenging passages can lead to a more nuanced and mature approach to spirituality. It encourages us to grapple with difficult concepts, fostering a faith that is both intellectually honest and deeply personal. In the end, these powerful verses remind us that the Bible is not a simple text with easy answers, but a complex collection of writings that continue to provoke thought, debate, and spiritual growth across generations.